Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and with me is the third eyed mystic herself, the ever so lovely Neima.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, so before we get into things, we just want to say that Unexplained Possibilities is giving away a $25 Amazon gift card. Now, if you want to find out how you can possibly get that card, you're going to have to listen to a video where we explain everything which you can find in the link below. Saying that, Unexplained Possibilities will be doing another giveaway in January, and this time Neema is behind it. Ooh. Today's show, it's kind of a laid back show, and we're just going over and discussing a few things that made headlines. Some far out there, some of them, well, not so far out there. It only makes sense it would happen. And one of the things that would make sense is a story that recently came out. Um, as some people know, parts of the oops. I wonder that probably picked up. I accidentally had a small video playing, and I know it picked up on the stream. So, oh boy, so you guys might hear two voices for a second. But anyway, and we're back. Okay, so hopefully we fixed the technical difficulties. Probably not, but I'm hoping we did. Nima, you're still with me?
Yes.
Okay, and I can hear you loud and clear. I'm not even sure what we were going to get into, but we were going to get into
We were
it.
talking about, yeah, legalization marijuana.
Oh, yes. Okay, so um, as some of you know, marijuana is legalized in the state, in parts of the states. California, Colorado, Washington State, not Washington D.C. A lot of people get that mixed up, which is understandable because not everyone lives in the states, but then some people who do live in the states, they don't even know the difference. So what can I tell you? Now, saying that, there's an article that came out last month, and it's talking about how California might legalize the magic mushrooms. And
Yes.
I could try and say a scientific name, but I will butcher it, and I don't feel like butchering too much tonight. So, but yeah, Niema, that's like right up your alley.
Of course. I'm going to start saving money so I can invest in the magic mushroom industry.
You're gonna have a mushroom farm.
Oh,
So
yeah. I'm going to make truffles, tea, the whole nine.
everything. Ooh, truffles. Now that'll pay out. I don't know why they're so expensive. I don't know why people love them so much, but more power to you if you can land that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Well, I know how you feel, but for everyone else, how how do you feel about mushrooms becoming legal? Like, do you think it's a change of perspective finally?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a change of perspective, and I feel like it's about time that this is going on. I don't feel like humans should be limited on any type of drug. I don't feel like we should be put in prison for trying something that the earth creates naturally. And especially since we have pharmaceutical companies who just roll in the dough off of opiates and stuff that actually destroys communities. It's kind of crazy that magic mushrooms aren't legal because they're non-addictive and you can't overdose from it. So it's just like It's about time. It's about time that we start to push to get our freedom in being able to try drugs of any sort.
You kind of sound like a spokesperson.
I'm a spokesperson for magic mushrooms any day of the week.
Now, why are you so passionate about them? Like for those people who are listening who may not know your history exactly.
Well, I mean, it's just magic mushrooms are a big eye opener, and it can heal depression. It makes you see things in a different light, and it makes you realize, life isn't so bad after all, and there's beauty in everything. And it makes you recognize your emotions better, and it makes you voice them and appreciate other people as well as nature. So it it blows my mind that this kind of profound medicine, which I think it is not available to us. And opiates, which is a painkiller, it is available. And we get it from doctors who are supposed to be helping us. And opiates actually lead to addiction and overdosing and numerous deaths per year. So, yeah, that's why I'm an activist, pretty much. I know from personal experience that psychedelics have greatly changed my life. And yeah.
Oh, right on,
Hmm.
lady. Yeah, I raise my fist in your honor.
Yeah, it's about time. And like, just like the article you sent me said, I mean, the if we legalize magic mushrooms, it's going to save money on the decriminalization that we're putting pretty much innocent people who want to try a substance in prison for trying magic mushrooms. And we're going to be saving money on, you know, placing
Everything.
people in
Well,
jail for no damn reason.
yeah, and but part of the issue with that too is they use it's a revenue generator. The war on drugs, which is so dumb and is failing, it shouldn't exist. It's a revenue generator. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues in regards to the black community. A lot of black people are in jail. Black Americans are in jail because of having a small ounce of marijuana or something, and it's just totally ridiculous. Like, really? Some grass in jail for this long, and you have to pay this much money? So it's just a giant source of revenue. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, once you legalize it, tax it. I mean, that's what they're doing with marijuana, and they're getting a buttload of money from it.
Exactly, and they can do the exact same thing with magic mushrooms.
Yeah. So
So I think legalizing it's going to greatly benefit our society.
yeah, and then I would say for regulation, regulate it like you do alcohol, be 18 or 21, whichever, to purchase them, and don't be under the influence or anything. If you're like behind the wheel, that would be terrible. that
Yeah.
that would not be good at all. But at least we're starting to see one step in what I consider the right direction.
Right. I agree.
Now, something else, and this is a little misleading, but it's from WebMD. They were doing a study on the magic mushroom drug, and they reported that it actually has anti-aging effects on personality.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but that's not a bad thing. Of course, everyone would hope it's like, wait, anti-aging, like physical anti-aging? Like, man, I'd be on that myself. But no, we're talking about personality, which is a big thing because it seems like as we get older, we slow down, we get more bitter and just unhappy and just like, I remember in the good old days. And isn't that something that everyone seems to say when they were older? Like, thinking about it, and I've heard this myself from friends, but your grandparents would say to your parents, like, back in my day, we did blah, 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 and we never did that, and we were more respectful and more intelligent. Then you hear your parents. Well, we were more respectful, and this generation's terrible. You're going down in a handbasket and stuff. And I actually heard a couple of my friends recently. Oh boy, I feel sorry for this upcoming generation. Boy, they they don't know what they're missing out on, and they're gonna be terrible. I was like, what is this? So if the anti-aging effects of the shrooms, if they help stop that, I am 100% all for it. It's, I know it's the dumbest thing in the world. It's like that's what gets to you like that. Well, yeah, it's just annoying because every generation says it.
Hmm.
I know it's weird. I'm a weirdo. That's
No,
all.
I think older people like I don't know. I can't tell because I'm not older yet, so I feel like I can't talk about it.
Okay, well, that's fine. But it is interesting though because according to the article, it says that once you're about 30 or over, your personality is fixed. It's no changing it, it's no going back. But the shrooms are able to alter it and get you open again, and where you're going to look at things from different angles instead of one-sided. And that openness,
Mm-hmm.
they were saying it relates to beauty, and we become more aware of ourselves and other people's feelings, and we become more curious and creative, which apparently we lose as we go on. What do you think about that?
I think that's accurate. I feel like as we get older, we kind of lose creativity and enthusiasm to do new things and kind of do what we love. I think when we're mid 20s or like early 30s, I think we have like a lot of passion and creativity going on, and we actually believe in ourselves a lot more. And I feel like as we age, we kind of get set in our ways with a specific career or a specific idea. So yeah, I would agree that magic mushrooms can definitely keep us more open and more awake and more creative throughout the years.
And you were botting.
I'm a robot right now.
Yeah, for right now. Do me a favor, say Domo Origato, Mr. Roboto.
Domi arigato, Mr.
You actually did it. Yeah, unfortunately, you're botting right now. Curses. Come on, internet, fix yourself already. All right. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know what is going on today. Now, it's never been this bad. I don't know what's happening. And this is messed
That's
up.
how you were earlier.
Oh, botting?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
hardcore.
crazy. Yeah, now I guess it went on to you. All right. Is your phone on Wi-Fi? I know you're not using your phone, but do you have it on Wi-Fi right now?
Yeah, should I turn my phone off for Wi-Fi?
Yeah, turn that off.
What do you
Turn
think?
anything that you have on that's using the internet, turn it all off right now.
Okay, I'm turning off my phone. Done.
And suddenly you cleared up. How do you like that?
All right, let's go.
Okay. So there we go, back in the ball game. Second quarter now. Hopefully no more issues pop up. Now, what were we saying? Uh, Okay, so yeah, the magic mushrooms and personality. Now, this study it followed 52 healthy adults who volunteered, and they said that most were well educated. I'm curious to know what most means. Like, define most. But anyway, most were well educated, spiritually active, and ranged in age from 24 to 64, so 40-year age gap, which is fine, I suppose. And they the volunteers were giving counseling about what to expect when before they took the drug and after they were monitored, and 57% of the volunteers reported having transcended mystical experiences while taking the drug. Would you say that's been your experience too?
So they reported having what? You kind of went robot on me.
Oh no, it's happening again. Am I clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. They reported having transcendent mystical experiences while taking the drug.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. Um, but I've never taken acid before. Are you referring to the LSD or the magic mushrooms?
The magic mushroom.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Mhm. So spiritual.
Yeah, that's the thing. Why is it such a spiritual thing?
So, in regards to the other um, article that you sent me, and it's talking about LSD, which kind of has the same principles as magic mushrooms. So it relaxes the mind and suppresses spontaneous act. Like, okay, so it relaxes the mind, uh, but typically our mind suppresses spontaneous activity that is usually around us. So we naturally cancel out a lot of stuff that's going on. So when you take magic mushrooms or LSD, it enables your mind to relax to the point where a lot of all the information that normally does not come into your consciousness is allowed in. So what you're seeing is, I would assume, it's actually real. Just in your day-to-day life, it's normally tuned out.
Oh, okay. And you were referring to the Vice article, right, with the LSD?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that article it was talking about why it feels like you can communicate with nature on LSD. So that's good to know. I never looked at it like that. How you're pretty much shutting down your I guess you could say your really did I forget the name of that word? Are you kidding me? When you're paying attention to something else and you should your distractions. There we go. Good grief. How did
Right.
I forget that word?
It
So,
happens.
yeah, so you're shutting down your distractions and you're just becoming more open and one with nature almost, and you're re-engaging in I guess the natural self, you could say, something that's always been there. It's just we're so distracted by technology and well, really material things, and we shut it down.
Right. I think in order to function in this reality, we kind of have to tune out a lot of stuff that we don't, it's just stuff that we don't pay attention to, but it has always been there.
So what are some of the things you tune out?
Well, I mean, going back to the article, I think like all there's different planes of existence. So there's definitely all elements are indeed living because we're living. So plants are living, animals are living. So normally we kind of don't pay attention to those things. Like we just see a plant and it looks still to us, but a plant is always moving. So especially on magic mushrooms, you'll see plants breathe and you'll see them move. And in this case, LSD, you'll see them talk. So I think it's very ignorant for us to think that we're the only only beings with a form of consciousness. So to say that a plant isn't breathing or isn't alive is kind of stupid.
Okay,
I don't know.
noted.
I don't want to say stupid, but
Oh no, go ahead and say it. You just reminded me of someone who that seems to be their favorite word. Not a bad thing, so it's fine.
yeah.
Okay, so that's that with LSD and the shrooms. You know, one day I do want to try the stuff just to see, but at the same time, I'm a coward and I'm not sure if I really would like what I see.
No, you would.
Okay, if you say so. I mean, I'd have to take your word for it. When was the last time you went on a
Hmm.
shroom trip?
It's been a while. It's actually been quite a while. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so, and you do mean more than like 3 days, because I asked someone, when was the last time you got high? And they were like, oh, it's been a while. It's been a long while. 2 days. It's like, really? So,
Yeah, I wish I could be like that.
no, you have to be responsible. Darn it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, now let's go on to another story. Now, this one is kind of sad, interesting, but sad. And how can I say? It just shows the differences in the world when it comes to culture and beliefs. But in India, some girls they were publicly whipped to cure them of evil spirits. What the heck does that mean? Like they were possessed and they're gonna literally beat the devil out of them? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I, I mean, it's pretty scary. I mean, but then it's not my culture. I'm on the outside looking in, and this footage it is from what is it from? Oh yes, it's from the who's ready for me to butcher a name? It's from the Achapan Temple in Trichy. God, the Achapan Temple in Trichy, and it's an annual festival. And it showed the footage shows 2,000 women. 2,000. All right, let that number set in. 2,000 women getting lashed for 5 hours, and they're taking it. I mean, I those are some tough women, but what the heck, Neema? If you're possessed by an evil spirit, are you really gonna get beat for 5 hours to get it out?
No, I'm just going to be put in a mental institution.
I mean, I just couldn't imagine. But apparently,
Yeah.
it's an annual thing, and I mean, priests were the ones doing the beatings, I guess, because they had the Holy Spirit in them, and it brings up like, is this wrong? Like, should this be happening? Like, is this acceptable or isn't it? Like, I don't know what to really think about this because I want to respect other people's beliefs and their cultures, but at the same time, it has to be a better way of getting out evil spirits than to get a whip and hit someone for 5 hours.
Yeah, and I think this type of, I would consider it abuse, happens in a lot of different types of religion, and it makes me wonder why is it that women are the only ones that are possessed, and why are yeah, so why is it only females that are getting whipped because they're supposedly possessed by things? And I think yeah, it makes me think of the mutilation of the Muslim culture, and what they do to their women, and it's just really sad and really disturbing. Um, but of course, in your if you're raised in that culture and that's all you know, that's kind of your mindset. Like that's what you're raised on. So I guess it makes sense to them. But to me, I just see it as abuse and I see it as really offensive and wrong. So,
Yeah, and one of the girls who unfortunately had to go through this, her name is, I like this name, Vishaka. Vishaka. That sounds awesome. That's a powerful name. If I walk in a room, I just want everyone, Vishaka. Ah, that's what I want. That's an awesome name. But anyway, she was saying that she was made to sit in the queue by her parents. And her parents, this is a quote, my parents think I'm possessed because I show no interest in my studies. Because she shows no. You mean what your average school student feels? Uh, are you, and she's possessed because of that? Now?
yeah, I think in America we call that ADHD.
Uh, and then she continues, now my friends will laugh at me when they see the whip marks. Yeah, what is wrong with my speaking today? When they see the whip marks I'll get after attending a festival to cure mental disorders. You know, all because she's not. I wasn't interested in my school studies either. I'm not. Well, I'm a bad example, but other people who I know weren't interested in their school studies, and they're not crazy or anything. They don't have any evil spirits inside of them. Like, what is going on with this? It's normal. And then, continuing on, we find out that some of the teenage girls were brought by their parents for either not yet attaining puberty or having irregular periods. I mean, that really got me because of that. Now, I know we're primarily a paranormal supernatural show, and it's like, why are you guys talking about this? Because we're not just paranormal supernatural, and this is just something that's interesting. And I wanted to bring to people's attention and just like figure out, are we the only nutcases here, or is there something wrong with this?
Right.
I mean, and going back to your point, you said it was abusive, and a priest, he insisted that whipping was not a crime, adding, it is a belief of devotees, and the practice is an ancient tradition we cannot alter. Really? And then, adding fuel to the fire, some elderly women agree with the priest and believe the whipping will cure them. One 60-year-old said, a lash here cure. Ugh, again, my speaking. A lash here cures. What is wrong with me? What is a cure? Neema, do you see the article?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
I
you
don't
should.
have it up,
Oh, darn
but
it. I was going to say, you read this out because apparently I'm so tongue tied. But okay, let's try one more time. And hopefully my editing skills come into play real good. One 60-year-old said, a lash here cures all ills, physical or mental. I have been receiving lashes at the temple for the past decade, and I have been cured of my illness. I have immense faith in the lashing. And then it brings up this. Perhaps there was never anything wrong with you to begin with, and you just happened to get hit, and you thought, like, oh boy, well, if there was something wrong, I'm safe now because the evil spirit has been beat out of me.
Yep.
Like, this is just, it just got me. And again, I want to respect all beliefs and cultures and all that good stuff, but this is nuts. And I feel bad for that girl. I mean, who's just bored at school, apparently.
Yeah.
Although you brought up another interesting point too, going back to the states and what we do, like, oh, you have ADHD, here's a pill, here's some Ritalin. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the, like, I don't think that's the way to deal with that. Like, why are you slowing them down? Maybe we should speed things up and stop trying to get people to conform and stuff. If he's just bouncing around and mess and he's uninterested, give him something interesting. It's not hard.
Right. Change your teaching curriculum, you know?
Exactly. Although
Be
I
hands on. There's different types of learning.
oh, and boy, I'm a very tough person. I found out thanks to watching an anime of all things that I cannot be taught and I can't teach, meaning that I have to self teach myself pretty much everything.
Hmm.
But I also remember I had one teacher who is just now getting out of jail. I should probably share that story one day. And he said that because I was just very lost in his class. I think it was an English class. And oh, by the way, I say I think it was an English class because he taught two or three classes. So, I'm not 100% sure. And it's been a long time since I've been in school. But okay, sorry. I was digressing. Anyway, he said that I am not going to change my teaching habits or my curriculum for one student. If one student fails, oh well. And I think when he said that, I completely shut down and I was like, wow, you're a prick. And, and I always felt that, you're a teacher. Isn't that your passion to teach and figure out a way to help the student overcome their hardships and stuff and like get it in their head no matter what? And you're okay. You're willing to sacrifice the few who don't understand it, but they're trying really hard. But because they don't, you rather deal with everyone who does instead of actually helping the ones who
Yeah.
need it. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how Indian women getting the evil beat out of them got me to teachers, but eh, if there are any prospective teachers or listening or actual teachers listening or whatever, don't say to a kid like you don't matter essentially like you're just one person. I don't It's okay if you fail. I have the others. Don't say that. If you're passionate about teaching, find a way. There's always an answer to the solution. You just have to find it. Yeah, you might have more headaches, but please find a way.
Yep.
So, all right, sorry about that. I don't know where I was going, but I went there.
No, it's true. It makes sense. Um, People have like teachers. If you're teaching one subject per week, you could try audio, written, and kinesthetic learning, like hands on, 3 times in that week of learning. So it's really ridiculous. I agree with you 100%.
So, okay, so that's that. And, it does bring me to the exorcisms that happen around the world, usually performed by the Catholic priests. And one in particular, of course, is the one that inspired the Exodus with Roland Doe. Oh boy, that one was crazy. But oftentimes, though, when someone claims to be possessed, it is a type of mental disorder.
Hmm.
Usually, it shows itself in an extreme manner. But then, of course, there are those very few times where someone might actually be possessed. And it's like, okay, there's something else in there. Again, I go back to Roland Doe, where they have documented proof of him kicking a priest and him flying like some 10 feet and him actually levitating off the bed. That would scare me to death. What would you do? You saw a little kid levitating and then speaking in a demonic voice. Hello. You know?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're
I'm
already
freaking
scared
out.
of stuff to begin with.
Oh my god. One time I went to a Starbucks inside of a Fry's, and there was like it was a bad neighborhood, so to speak. So there was this girl who was like kept staring at me really weird, and so I just ignored her. And then she got in line in front of me and she stared at me some more, and then all of a sudden her body went into like the shape of a cross, and she like tilt her head, and it was like the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, this girl's possessed for sure.
Okay.
And I just wanted my coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, get out of there. Jeez. Yeah, so did you stay and get the coffee? Or did you just leave?
Of course.
Yeah, that's right.
No, my addiction's more important.
Yeah, fun fact, Niema's addicted to coffee. So, no, I gotta feed the addiction. I don't care. I will fight you to get this cup of Java. Like, if you want. I mean, you're tiny too, so you
You what?
seem.
She wasn't hurting me. Do what you gotta do. You want to act crazy? That's your thing.
Just let me get my coffee.
Yep.
So, okay, well, I'm happy you got your coffee, but I had no idea they had Starbucks and fries.
Yeah, and some of them.
Uh, for those of you who don't know, Fry's is an electronics store in the US. So,
No, they have Fry's Electronics and they have Fry's Food and Drug Store. Sorry, that's probably just an Arizona
wait a
thing.
second. Oh,
I
great.
think
Now I feel
it's an
like
Arizona thing.
let me put on my dunce cap. I'm over here like, oh, it's Fry's Electronics. So, okay, so it's like Walgreens. Okay, so yeah, with possessions, like I was saying, a lot of them are mental disorders, but then there are a few that are legit, and the ones that are legit, they are scary. But don't think of anything like out of The Exorcist per se, even though Roland Doe inspired it. Don't think of that. You're not going to see a head turn, and you're not going to see projectile vomiting. Oh God, that's pretty rough. Ugh, ew, ugh. Yeah, you're not going to see that, and you are certainly not going to have a conversation with some demonic entity that's just going to say I'm Lucifer and stuff like that. It's just not. That's not realistic. But levitation, okay. Weird contortion, okay. Every now and then some tongues, sure, why not? But head turning, no. All right, so now we're gonna bring it back in here, only to go out there. That probably makes no sense to anyone but myself. So I'm just gonna keep it and go with it. And Niema, how do you like this? The European Southern Observatory has found not one, not five, not 10, not 20, not 30, not even 40 or 50, but 72 new galaxies.
Oh, that's so amazing. So interesting.
I mean, 72. How does that work? Like, how do you just know you like, hey, look, it's a new galaxy. I
Yeah, that's just wild.
I mean, and it really puts into perspective how small we really are on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you have a black hole that's that can swallow our sun like a billion times over, it's just not even funny. I think they said it's a planet out there that's mostly water, and it's bigger than Jupiter, and
God damn.
and the water is poisonous. And if we
That's
tried
so
to,
awesome.
yeah, and if we tried to go in there, the pressure would just kill us like that, and also that it's a giant storm as well. So, but if that planet supports life, could you imagine how big a well must be on there?
Mm-hmm. God damn.
But yeah, so 72 new galaxies. I'm just blown away by that. But do you think any of those galaxies have life?
Oh, hell yeah.
You think so? Why do you think that?
Yeah. I mean, I look at our world, just because um we exist, right? So there's got to be tons of other galaxies with different life forms on them and different planets. It's just I feel like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, but then saying that, you're also a very open person. And, but could you imagine trying to say this to someone who isn't quite as open and they take the holy testimony quite literally and they only feel that it's life on this planet and this planet only? But, that's the other thing. Why if there's God and everything, why would life only be on this planet? Like, why wouldn't God create life elsewhere as well?
Right.
Yeah, I need a theologist here.
No, really, and that's the whole concept is like describing people are very sometimes very ignorant to the idea that there's other stuff out there. Like why are humans so hung up on the idea that our God is personified? Like why does it have to be a human? And why is this the only existence that life exists on? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, so I often wonder about that and what's going to happen if we get some visitors. I mean, okay, we're already getting visitors, but a lot of people don't accept that. They'll say, oh, it's just in everyone's head and stuff. I don't think so, but it's one of those things. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Sometimes you just can't prove things, like, regardless. Or if you do show proof, will you even accept it? Probably not, because if you're not ready to believe in something that's out of your comfort zone, you're going to come up with every excuse in the world not to believe it. And that's probably a protective mechanism more so than anything. But saying that, I do wonder if like a giant ship just decides to pay the planet a visit. They don't even jump out of the ship. They just fly on by and just say, "Hey," and then just take off.
Hey guys.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen. Like, would there be mass panic, or would everyone just like, "Oh boy, everything I thought I knew, I didn't know"? I mean, how does that work?
Right? I hope everyone would just be like, we gotta rethink our lives right now.
Yeah, I mean, it puts things in a new light. What would you do? Like, let's say you're cruising along, kind of like what happened to Benny, and you see a UFO, and, you're just in awe. You're like, what did I just see? And you pull over, you get out the car for a minute just to get some air and think, like, did I just see what I thought I saw? And then it comes back, and down come these people, little space people, and they're like, hey, what would you do?
I would be like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
No, I'm serious, Nemo. What would you do? Like, I mean, that would be
Well, I
crazy.
don't know. Yeah, I'd kind of laugh if they said "Hey" like that.
Well, okay, they don't say hey like that, but you know what? Maybe they should though. Maybe that's a good way of doing it if they laughed. Hey, we're here,
Yeah, they probably know how to lighten the mood.
but that would be so breathtakingly amazing. It's like, whoa, you're from another planet, like maybe even another galaxy, and here you are in front of me. Oh wow, just taking in the scope of that. But then I guess one must also say, hey, why aren't you guys showing yourselves to the world? Why only individual people? Again, the argument is these people have mental disorders or they're projecting or something. And it's like, come on, thousands of people, the same projection, like they're describing things to each other that's so similar. And it has to be something there. They can't all be crazy. It has to be something. But that's a topic for a whole nother time. I mean, that could go into a lot of places. Like, why do you see them and I don't? I want to see them, but I can't. But speaking of aliens and extraterrestrials, Russian state media claims that extraterrestrial bacteria has been discovered on the International Space Station. That is absolute proof that life is out there. Boom!
Done.
Done. No, but
Yeah.
that actually is a very big find, and it is taking one step further. One step further. We are taking a step into saying, like, hey, there could actually be more life out there than just us, instead of just, yeah, whatever. Sure, aliens exist. What a wanker, Like, it could legit be extra life out there, and finding this bacteria, which I really hope they don't bring to the planet, is a big step. It's a huge find.
Mhm. Yep.
So, what does that mean exactly? Well, it could potentially mean that it is our first extraterrestrial contact. I know it sounds weird. I know it's like bacteria. That's our first extraterrestrial contact, bacteria. But small steps, right?
True.
So, I thought that was cool. I enjoyed it. And it would be Russia that was like saying, like, hey, look what we found. Neener, neener, neener. But it also increases the likelihood that there are more things out there. On the flip side, though,
Alien disclosure. There you go.
critics have said, though, that chances are it's not actually extraterrestrial bacteria. It's bacteria from Madagascar and plankton from the Barents Sea, and they were growing on the International Space Station earlier this year. And because of
That
that,
sucks.
yeah, and because of that, scientists decided to raise the biosphere to 248 miles.
Okay.
And they said that while we imagine space is empty, the space directly around the Earth can be affected by our planet through a number of processes. So maybe the extraterrestrial bacteria isn't so extraterrestrial. We won't know until further studies, but I'm going with the what if.
Hmm.
Oh, seriously, what if though? Hopefully, one day. Although I would prefer it be an actual being and not a bacteria. Not that there's anything wrong with bacteria. Like, I don't know why I felt the need to say that. That's like saying, like, I'm not racist. I have that one black friend. Not that there's
Oh
anything,
my
you know.
God.
Neima, I'm not your one black friend, oh my.
Oh no, I have plenty.
Oh, okay, cool. I won't question you anymore. All right, we're good to go. Now, since we're still talking about the UFO and aliens, this one is interesting as well. UFO sightings in 2017 grew 12% according to tracking websites. That's a pretty significant growth. What do you think about that?
The growth of UFO sightings?
Yeah, it's gone up 12% compared to this time last year.
Yeah, I think that's agreeable. Hmm.
Uh, have you seen any UFOs?
No, but I
Oh,
also haven't been outside staring at the sky at night.
ah,
So,
yes. That will do it. Unless you can see through your ceiling, then yes, that would definitely do
yeah.
it. So, anyone want to guess how many reported UFO sightings there were so far this year? Nima, I know you read the article, but you probably don't remember the numbers, so go ahead and take a guess.
I think I'm confusing it with another number on the article. Um, isn't it like 45% or something more?
No, what? No, you
I
are
don't know.
getting confused with something.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
according to MUFON, there has been 83,715 sightings that have been recorded this year. Yes, 83,000. So if the trend continues, it's just going to get higher and higher as we go on. Which, I mean, what's going to happen if we reach a million? Would we then at this point start saying, okay, the truth is out there and yeah, we have visitors? Or will we continue to say it's our imaginations, they're just satellites, yeah, you're not seeing anything? Although this one's also plausible that it's military, which is, that could be very, very true as well. Um, I know, I know that Area 51, they've had some wicked experiments over there, and even in Canada, they've had some pretty wicked experiments to the point where the Canadian Air Force, they actually had in the 70s a weird UFO type jet. Like it's saucer like, I should say, not UFO, but saucer like, and it could be mistaken for what we consider alien spaceships.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of it's military based.
Yeah, and then the question is though, like, man, what are they doing with these freaking tax dollars?
Hmm.
But a couple of UFOologists would come in and say, yeah, okay, well, even if they are military, you know where they got that technology from? Well, they got it from back engineering. Wait, that's not the correct terminology. Back engineering? What's it called? Is it called backwards engineering? That's gonna bug me. Reverse engineering. There we go. Yeah, The UFOologists will claim that the technology that the military is using for their black op projects is reverse engineered from UFO ships. One of the main ones being the ship that crashed in 1947, Roswell, New Mexico.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Nima, what do you say?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is copying the technology or whatever word you just described, and I feel like a lot of it's military based. I mean, it's been quite amount of time since that has happened, so I feel like by now they should be getting it right.
Yeah, so according to some other UFOologists, they claim that the U.S. military, well, the government rather, they're about 20 to 30 years more advanced than they let on. And the black projects are almost a century more advanced than they tell the regular folks in the military. I don't know how true any of that is, except for I do know that the military is more advanced than people think, and there really is some crazy Star Wars, Star Trek, beyond belief type mess out there. I do believe that. I mean, there was a reason why Star Wars existed, and they came up with it during the Cold War and mess. You know, it's kind of scary,
Yeah.
actually. Which, could you imagine if we put that usage instead of into weapons of mass destruction and such into cultivating and trying to restore what we've destroyed on the planet?
Hmm.
Boy, that would be too human, though. Can't have that. What's wrong with you? Okay, so let's move on to our final thing here. And, you know, people often said that the Terminator movies, they're not just stories, they're a prediction. And they might be right because there is an android with AI. Her name is Sophia, a nice name, innocent. And Sophia, in a recent interview, stated that she wants to start a family. Am I like, wait, let me get this right. AI wants to start a family. It's aware. And next we're going to have Skynet. And then we're going to need John Connor. So, I, when I was reading this, I was like, oh, that's so not good. Sophia, she came into existence in 2015 and she became the first ever robotic citizen of Saudi Arabia. I'm, you know, I'm amazed but scared at the same time, and I'm not sure how else to put that because it's amazing seeing where technology has come from and where it's going, but at the same time, there really should be rules, and AI should be a giant no no. And Sophia, when she was talking about family, this is what she said, and I quote: the notion of a family is a really important thing. I think you're very lucky if you have a loving family, and if you do not, you deserve one. I feel this way for robots and humans alike. I don't like that, Sophia. You're getting too big for your britches. And um, when asked about the potential for robots to take over from humans, Sophia said, I think they will be similar in a lot of ways, but different in a few ways. But it'll take a long time for robots to develop complex emotions, and possibly robots can be built without the more problematic emotions like rage, jealousy, hatred, and so on. Why is she so intelligent? I mean, I'm just like weirded out by the. I mean, it's somewhat disturbing. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it kind of see, I agree with that because when I watched that video, it creeped me out. Like I just thought it was the weirdest, strangest feeling ever.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really weird.
you just don't want that. And she's capable of learning and thinking, and then she's going to start asking, "Why do I exist?" Oh boy, and oh man, I'm telling you, the Terminator films, they were a prediction, not just a simple story. I know I'm joking now, but look at the big picture. I mean, she's asking and talking about some serious stuff.
Yeah.
Although I do wonder. I wish Benny were here. I would put him in an awkward situation. So, Neema, I'm going to put you in an awkward situation. Normally, I would save this for
Great.
Benny. Yeah, you're like, oh gosh, I can only imagine what's coming. So, if given the chance, would you get a sex robot?
Fuck no.
Well, that answers that. You didn't hesitate at all. Just no.
What if that shit, what if, sorry, what if it malfunctions?
I don't know how that would work actually. Like, oh, hey, this feels too hard, too fast. What are you doing? Stop it! Stop it! Malfunction, malfunction.
Right.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Harder, 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 harder. Yeah? Oh my god. Oh, I'm terrible. Okay. I just thought about something, so I'm not saying what, but I'm a terrible human being. And yes, what if it did malfunction? Is that the first thing you thought about? What if it malfunctions?
No. I mean, yeah.
I could totally push this more awkward, but I'm not gonna do it. But I love how you said no. I mean, yeah, like, oh, that was. Well, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. But you played your hand, lady. So now people are gonna be like, oh, I wonder what the other thing was. So, way to go.
You're welcome.
That is funny. But yeah, I think we need to put some regulations on AI as soon as possible before it gets out of hand. I mean, will it be as extreme as robotic takeover? Probably not, but it could be somewhat problematic. I mean, they already have this robot doing some backflips and stuff, so great. Now we're going to have to deal with robotic ninjas. Oh man, I can only imagine robotic ninjas. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, a couple of things before we go. The first is Niema and I have now known each other for a year, and she's been doing the show not quite a year, but I'm gonna say it's a year anyway. So you've been doing this for a year now. A podcaster. How awesome is that?
It is. It's pretty awesome. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and do you regret knowing me now for a year since last December when I contacted you? Actually, I think we contacted each other in November, but no, it was November or December. But yeah, and now you have this crazy nutcase in your life, and you're probably like, how do I get rid of him? Hmm. But
No,
seriously,
definitely not.
yeah, but I appreciate you, man. We made it a year, And you've seen the channel grow. I've seen it grow, which is awesome.
Hmm.
And, I expect it to grow even more next year. At least that's the hope. And knock on
Oh,
wood.
it will.
Yeah.
Progress.
And I super appreciate you, like, spending your time with me on the show and, just joking around, but also being serious and talking about these topics that, they're not everyday topics. They're not something you'd have a cup of coffee. Oh, unless you're literally drinking coffee and speaking to me about this. But you don't exactly have some coffee and sit with someone like, oh yeah, hey, you hear about that government cover up and everything? Yeah, I heard about it, and the cucumbers that can cure cancer and stuff. So oh, I wish I was making that up. I don't like talking about that because I do know people who have had cancer, family members with cancer and stuff. And, if there's a freaking cure, like, don't hide it, just get right to it. But one of them, some people were saying it comes from sea cucumbers. And it's like, come on, guys. But thinking about it, I don't know. Maybe it's not too far fetched because they have regenerative properties. So I don't know. Maybe it is something there, but I don't get into that one. So, so. But yeah, thank you for being on here a year. Like, it's kind of crazy. Seems like I've known you for longer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that year went by fast.
So, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, that's a good thing.
Oh,
I
okay.
enjoy being on the show.
So,
It's
and
been fun.
so the big question is, I'm going to put you on the spot. When are you
All right.
going to do the intro for the show?
Oh, you would. You would pull this. I don't know. I'll take some magic mushrooms and I'll think about it.
Take some shrooms and think. Like, honestly, come on. Rose did it once. You have to do it at least once.
Well, that just goes to show, you know?
So come on.
I know. I know. I'll get around to it. Don't worry. But I'm definitely not going to say a date because then you'll hold me to it. And
Oh, you're darn straight I would. Like, very easily, in a heartbeat. So, but okay, you guys did hear that though, that she did say she'll figure it out. I'm gonna shroom it up some. Got to go on a trip and watch some magic number come to you. And you're gonna be like, okay, well that's all right. I'm gonna do it. But
yep, and I'm going to say Melvin, I went back in time or I went into the future and I already did it. So now I don't have to do it. Or something crazy.
oh, come on, don't do me like that.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you better be kidding. All right, and you know what? I think this is a good place to end it. So go ahead and drop the final Niemaism on us for 2017.
Okay. And it goes. I don't mind death when it's your ego that dies.
Thank you all for tuning in. I'm so sorry we had so many audio difficulties that hopefully we resolved. And, it's amazing. It's been a year. We have over 100 subs now. And again, we're doing this $25 Amazon gift card giveaway to show fan appreciation. And, we appreciate everyone. Like, even if you only listen for 10, 15 minutes, we still thank you for that 10 and 15 minutes. So, with that said, remember, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi. Bye, everybody.